going on, good people? This is Xavier with Good and Proper Skincare, and this is our first YouTube video. So what we're about to get into is a wood body butter that we make. First ingredient we're using is a refined shea butter. Um, this is just part of our process here. This is what works for us. Next up will be the unrefined shea butter. It has that nice velvet smooth texture and scent. Third up will be the coconut oil. Coconut oil is in its unmelted state. So we'll get to all that in a little bit. But it also provides a great source of moisture and just a good skin feel. So we're going to skip into what we're using here. Everything is measured out with a scale, just so we're very precise with everything. And, our recipes are consistent. So this guy right here is the Kokum Butter. It's pretty similar to cocoa butter, a little bit lighter as far as the scent, but it pretty much does the same thing. The price point is a little bit cheaper, but another reason we use it because we don't like to overshadow the scent of the shea butter. So these are pretty much what we're using in our wood body butter. This is actually an earlier recipe. The newer one, I can't really put out there like that, but this is pretty much a simpler version of what we're actually doing now. So it's something I can kind of give out to the people, right? So both of these shea butters do pretty much exactly the same thing, but there's a slight color difference, and the refined compared to the unrefined has a little less odor. Again, that's our process. This is what we use to kind of bring everything together for our end product. One thing I did not mention was the grapeseed oil that we're using. Some people use sweet almond oil, some people use jojoba oil, some people use a combination of the two, three, or however much. It just depends on your formula, kind of what you're putting together, and what the end result you want to be is. Some of the tools that we're using is a scale, digital scale. We keep it nice and simple. I know my camera angle is a little funky right here, but this is actually a reusable pastry bag with a pastry tip. Again, I apologize for the camera angle. First video, let me live. But anyways, we put it into like a quart container, and then when we're going to pretty much pipe it into the containers that we're using, it just helps to make it an easier, less messy process. So that's pretty much what's going on right here. And then to the right side is a standing mixer. Now you don't have to use a standing mixer. What you can actually use is whisk, or you can use a hand blender, like a stick blender. I come from kitchens. That's my background. So we actually call it an immersion blender. It's the same thing, but you can find them anywhere, just about anywhere. So anyways, back to this process. What I have here is the end result of me putting the piping bag over the quart container, and then I have my hand a rubber scraper, so it's going to help me kind of move all that whipped product into the container, which I'm using right there. It's very quick. Next up will be, this is pretty much just my work surface. Very simple, nothing too fancy here. So I'm doing a lot of talking. I'm going to do skip ahead a little bit and kind of get you guys, get this process going. So anyways, what I'll do right here is start to pour all my product into a bain-marie. You can do a glass bowl if you like, or you can do a metal bowl. And then I'm just preparing this for a gentle double boil. There's no particular order you need to pour everything into. It's just make sure you don't waste any product. That's why I have the rubber scraper. I'll go ahead and scrape from edge to edge and get all that good stuff out of there. I don't want anything to be wasted. So pretty much a double boil is a method where you're going to gently cook something, or in this case, we're going to melt all the oils and hard butters slowly. So it doesn't scorch it or burn it or anything like that and mess up the end result that we're looking for. It's actually going to just melt it very slow. So we're going to take that container. I don't have the other container shown here because I actually have the pan, the deep pan sitting over 2 burners right now on my stove. But I have a little bit of shallow water in there, and I'm warming the water up at this point. Not to a full boil, but to a gentle kind of low boil. So after I have everything pretty much put into this bain marie is what we call it again. I come from background of restaurants. So again, you can use a glass bowl or you can use a metal bowl. It's just something that won't tilt or tip over while sitting in the double boil. And if you look up double boil on Google, you can find plenty of pictures and how-tos. Same thing if you look on YouTube. It's very simple. So anyways, that's what I'm preparing to do. I've got everything in my container. Kind of going over just basically a lot of hand movement. So let me skip over. Um, yeah, that's about it. So I'm gonna be back in a little bit once everything is completely melted. And this process for me roughly takes about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how much you're dealing with. So I'm just kind of organizing myself here, moving my stand mixer. When I like to work with products, especially products people are purchasing from us, I like to work very clean, very neat, and very organized. It's just one of the things um, I have to do. Like if my work area isn't organized and clean and, to a point to where I feel comfortable where we could make these products for strangers and people we don't know, I can't do it. So to work in a very sterile environment, again, I got gloves on my hand the whole time. We use sanitizer wipes, the whole nine. So everything is sterilized before we actually get to work and before we even start measuring our raw uh, product. So what I'll do for the sake of time is I'll speed up the video a little bit. Just basically I'm showing my process from using the paddle attachment on our standing mixer. And then what I like to do once everything is actually melted down, what we end up doing is taking it to a shallow pan and we'll put it in the freezer to kind of speed up the hardening process. Roughly, that takes us about 30 to 40 minutes just to get it to a certain point where we can actually whip it and it'll hold its form. Then at that point, we'll add our essential oil to it and a little bit of arrowroot powder. The arrowroot powder, again, is plant-based and it gives it a nice firm texture. It doesn't have like a greasy feel. And when you go to pipe it into any, pretty much any container that you're using, it allows it to hold its form and last a lot longer to give it a little more stability and a longer shelf life. So after the paddle attachment, I'm actually going to use the whisk attachment to incorporate some air into it while it's whipping. Again, it'll pretty much double the product and give it a lighter feel. So it's not, it'll knock all the clumps out and whatnot, and it'll just give that nice creamy smooth feel that you want in your skin. All right, so I went ahead and skipped a little bit. This is the end process as far as how we're about to whip up the body butter. This is us taking it out the freezer. I'm gonna bring it to the camera and show you what it looks like. Pretty much looks like frozen butter. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. Kind of gives that kind of texture to it and color a little bit. What you see laid in front of me is the 4 containers are going to fill up. This recipe is roughly about 4 cups, give or take the whipping process, but you're going to roughly get about 4 cups. So I'm going to attach it right now, lock it in place so it doesn't bounce around when I go to whip it. I'm going to get my lever to adjust, and then I'm going to get my paddle attachment to kind of break it up a little bit, make it creamy and smoothie. I'm going to bring it down. I don't know what I was doing here, but anyways, let me get back to that. I'm going to bring it down, get it to where I want it to be, and then normally anything you're whipping up, I don't know if you ever work with flour or if you ever done a dough or something like that, but you want to start it slow and then increase the speed as you go. So here, I'm not going to really run into that problem too much. I'm just going to start at a medium high speed. Just kind of break it up a little bit. This can take about a few minutes. For me, it takes about 3 to 5. And then as I go through it, I'll stop, take the bowl off, and then I'll use my rubber scraper or rubber spatula, which I have on the bain marie, and I'll scrape the sides so I make sure I can get everything whipped up and incorporated into the body butter mix. So as everything is whipping up with the paddle attachment, I'm just gonna take the top off and do, like I said, scrape the sides, make sure everything is evenly incorporated. What I added right there, very quick, was the essential oil blend that we use in this mix. And we have, I think, about 6 or 7 different scents that we offer through our website. You can use what you like, but we use essential oils. At this point, I'm going to add my arrowroot powder to it. This is kind of where it's going to give you that nice firmness to it. So when you go to pipe it into your containers, it's going to allow it to kind of hold the stiff peaks and give you a longer shelf life. But it'll melt into the skin nicely. It won't have any clumps into it as long as you whip it properly and just work the whisk attachment. So what we're gonna do at this point is scrape all the sides, get all that stuff nice and incorporated. Still a little thick because it's still very, very frozen at this point. So the nice thing about it is that attachment creates friction, which in turn creates a little bit of heat. Um, so that's gonna help move this along. I think what I'm doing right here at this point, I'm adding a finishing oil. Um, it's also for scent. Don't really want to get into that too much because that's what kind of sets it apart. But that is another part of our essential oil blend. So what I'm gonna do right here is everything is nice, ready to go. Now I can go for the final whip. I use that wire whisk attachment and just get as much air as I can into it. Make sure the clumps are non-existent. Make sure it's nice and creamy, and that's about it. So we're gonna get into my favorite part. Pretty much piping it into the containers. I'm gonna move everything out the way. You see, I flipped my board over there just so I have a little bit more of I guess a better workspace, and it looks nice for the camera. So I'm gonna continue to whip it, get it to where I need it to be. I'll check. This is how I kind of check the consistency. I'll kind of drag the whisk through by hand and I hold it up to make sure the stiff peaks formed. So if it's not where I want it to be, I'll just whisk, whisk, whisk until I get it to where I need it to be. So now I'm just again organizing myself, getting ready for the piping, and we should be getting pretty close at this point. So I appreciate you guys just hanging out with me, learning how we do our body butter. And again, if you got any questions or comments, leave them down low, and we'll be happy to answer any things and respond to anything you guys have to say. All right. So I think we're about ready there. We're gonna just go ahead and take this bowl off and get the piping bag ready. So as we prepare our piping bag, we're just gonna lay everything out nice and methodical. And right here, I'm just taking off the lids from the containers that we're using. We purchased this from a couple different people. I can link some of the websites that we use, but they're really easy to find. One of our go-tos, if our main vendors are out of stock, is we actually go through Amazon.com, and these are 4-ounce containers. All right, so what I'm doing here is just kind of whipping it up one more time. Make sure it's free of clumps. Make sure it's nice, smooth, and creamy. And then I'm going to transfer it to the piping bag. So at this point, again, very simple. I'm using the rubber scraper, putting everything into the bag, and I work in small batches just because I don't want to overfill the bag, and I kind of want to show you guys kind of how the process works with this. Working with pastries and stuff like that, I have a little bit of experience. So every time you tie off the bag, you always want to leave a little bit of air or a little bit of space at the end, because if you put too much in there and you squeeze down too fast, too hard, you might have an air pocket, or you just might put too much pressure on it, especially if you're decorating. It'll come out just too fast, and it won't be a desired result you're looking for. So right here, what I like to do is kind of start from the edge and go clockwise, making sure to fill anything I need to fill. So again, I'm making sure, I'm pushing down kind of like a firm but gentle pressure. You don't want to put too much. Again, it'll sputter out and it's just going to be a big mess, and it's not going to be that nice, clean end product that you're looking for, especially if you're looking to sell it. And I always end it with the peak. I'll kind of pull up to the camera here so you can see what I'm working with. And, everything's about presentation. It's about the look, but then the actual benefits it's going to provide for your skin. So, again, thank you for joining us. Leave your likes, comments below, and have a great day.